Hey guys, it's August 19th, 2023, and we're going to finish up our second part of our 9/11 Chicago Earthquake and Mothman prophecy. We're going to do part 2 here. We're going to cover our connections to Philadelphia and Chicago. In this video, I told you guys I was going to talk about Bruce Willis and his connection to the 9/11 astronomical alignment with Mercury Rising, because Mercury Rising was a movie that Bruce Willis starred in 1998. We're going to go over the Mercury counts with Bruce Willis and JFK. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about the symbolism for Chicago and its connection to earthquakes in the Bible, and a few other people and dates that are connected to Wormwood. And that's what my channel is all about. It's about the Revelation 8:11 Wormwood star. And since we're talking about Wormwood here, I've mentioned this. This is the 929th chapter of the Bible. Malachi has our CHI, and CHI is the 22nd letter of the Greek alphabet. And it is, the symbol for it, or the letter for it, is an X. And it's called Chi. So there's our connection with Chicago. So if you're looking at, like, has the X, right? We were talking about the X eclipses and all this stuff. So much symbolism with the X chromosomes, the X eclipses, the 22nd letter. And if you remember, I showed you that the Oklahoma City bombing that happened on the 220th anniversary of the beginning of the American Revolution. So there's another 22 connection, and there's a lot of 220s. I'll cover more 220s in the future, but a lot of 220s. And if you go from the date of 9/11 to the next date on the calendar, which is 4/19, it's 220 days between those two dates, between 9/11 and 4/19. That's 220 days. Our X and our Chi connection. Okay, let's take a look at the map here. I'll show you some interesting connections here on Google Earth. A few years ago actually, someone had left a comment on one of my videos, and they said that Philadelphia and Chicago are 666 miles apart. So I'm just going to show you real quick exactly what it looks like when you do the search for the pins that Google Earth places for Philadelphia and Chicago. So we'll search for Philadelphia here, and I'll just show you that I have the pin down right where it shows. And then we'll do Chicago. But the point is here is that Chicago and Philadelphia are 666 miles apart, and Chicago has the 60606 zip code, the 666 zip code. So I'll just show you real quick. There's our Willis Tower. Talking about Bruce Willis here in a second. So we'll go back over to Philadelphia. So this measurement is just within a few thousand feet of exactly 666 miles. So we have 666.23, and I actually I measured exactly from the center of Philadelphia City Hall here. They have this nice compass in the center, and if you go from that to the Willis Tower, it gets you even closer to 666. We have the Willis Tower here. But the Willis Tower is located, I'll just show you real quick here. Willis Tower, 233 South Wacker Drive, 60606 zip code. And this 233, that's actually the 13th Fibonacci number. That's interesting because 91, the number we talked about last time, 91 is the 13th triangular number. So these 13s are showing up quite a bit as well. So if we go back and take a look at the ancient city of Philadelphia, it was called Alasir, and it was founded in antiquity as Philadelphia, and originally Alasir translated to multicolored town, and of course Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, right here in the Greek, the city of him who loves his brother. So that's where we get the city of brotherly love with Philadelphia. But in the Bible, where they're mentioning Philadelphia, originally called Alasir and meant multicolored town. And of course, Philadelphia was destroyed by an earthquake in the Bible, and it was known for all of its many earthquakes. So that's where we're making the earthquake connection to Chicago here. But it's kind of interesting. I showed you this last time, that we had The Last Dance that featured the Chicago Bulls. And The Last Dance, that was released on, I can't remember which anniversary, but it was released on the anniversary of the beginning of the American Revolution, 4/19. 1775 was the American Revolution, and it came out on 4/19/2020. And of course we have Dennis Rodman, number 91. He's featured on the on this poster for The Last Dance. And Biden and Harris are 91 Mercury years apart. JFK, he was killed on his 193rd Mercury birthday. And then we're going to show you the Bruce Willis connection to JFK and his precise connections to 9/11. It actually connects to the Great Pyramid. And we'll check that out here at the end. We'll do the Mercury counts. But, of course, Dennis Rodman, known as the Worm, right? And that's what my channel is all about, Wormwood, flying Wormwood star. And he actually has a daughter. Her name is Trinity. Remember in the last video I showed you that the line from McCormick Place in Chicago to the San Jacinto Monument, the 90 degrees, points directly to the Trinity test site. But Dennis Rodman has a daughter named Trinity. He's called the Worm, and he actually, of course, connects to this Alasir, or Philadelphia, right? He's the multicolored. He's known for his multicolored hair when he played in the NBA. So there's all his connections, the 91 and the multicolored hair, his connections to Philadelphia. So another interesting character, or actor I should say, remember I showed you guys that in the movie The Mothman Prophecies, it starred Richard Gere. Richard Gere was from Philadelphia, and he starred in the Mothman Prophecies in 2002, right? There's our 22 again. And then in the same year, Chicago came out after the Mothman Prophecies. Richard Gere from Philadelphia. But what's really interesting here is that I was looking up some more moth connections to Wormwood, and I found this Chicago company that makes this Basque liquor, which is low in thujone, and thujone is the wormwood, and it's called Jeppson's Malort, and Malort is known for its bitter taste, right? Wormwood is known for its bitterness. And in Swedish, Malort literally is called the moth herb, and in Swedish it's the Swedish word for wormwood. So moth herb and wormwood in Swedish. I'll just show you that real quick. And now watch this when I start typing this in. First of all, when you type in worm, the Swedish translation is mask, and then we do the rest here. It's Malort. So there's another interesting connection with the Mothman prophecy. Remember, the Mothman prophecy is that the sightings of the Mothman precede a disaster. And Mothman, literally, or moth herb, is called Malort in Swedish, and it translates to wormwood. Pretty interesting there. Another connection I wanted to show you guys is Robin Williams. He passed away on August 11th, 2014. And There's our 8/11 connection, and he was born in Philadelphia, or excuse me, he was born in Chicago. Born in Chicago, and he died on 8/11. There's a lot of connections to Robin Williams here, but just wanted to show you that one real quick. What else here? I'm trying to make this video a lot shorter than the last video. This is actually Soldier Field in Chicago, and it's kind of interesting. I was looking online for pictures of it because on the Wikipedia page they used to reference the stadium as looking like a UFO, and I don't think it's in there anymore. I didn't go back and look for the revisions, but I found this picture online. The screen name here is Woody, and it says, are they trying to make it look like a UFO? Right? So we have Soldier Field in Chicago here. The Wikipedia page actually used to reference it as looking like a UFO. Find it here again. I've got it somewhere here, but anyways, Soldier Field in Chicago looks like a UFO, which is pretty interesting. And okay, let's take a look here at the actual Mercury counts that I've been talking about with Bruce Willis, and he starred in the movie Mercury Rising. That's connected to the Mercury Rising that happened on 9/11. And I actually did this calculation in a video before, but I'm going to show you. He was born on 3/19/1955. Bruce Willis was. Now we're going to check JFK's birthday here. He was born on May 29th, 1917. That was JFK's birthday. Then we have Bruce Willis's birthday. And you can see they were born 13,808 days apart. Now I showed you this number before, but it wasn't a calculation between their two birthdays. But this 13,808 is a very interesting number because it connects to the Great Pyramid. The current height of the Great Pyramid is listed as 138.8 meters. So there's your 1388. And it was like this for many, many years. And for some reason, on April 25th, 2001, they dropped the height of the pyramid. You can find it here. They dropped the height of the pyramid down to 1,385 or 138.5 meters. So 0.3 meters shorter, but for many, many, many years, this is the height that they were giving for the current height of the pyramid, 1388. So that's why I'm showing you guys this number. So here's JFK's birth and Bruce Willis's birth, 13,808 days apart. So now we're going to go from JFK's death on 11/22/1963 to 9/11/2001. And this is the calculation I showed you guys before. There's our 13,808 again. So born 13,808 days apart, and 9/11/2001 was 13,808 days after the JFK assassination. Okay, so let's check this out. We're going to go back to JFK's birthday, 5/29/1917, and 11/22/1963, 16,978 days. We did the Mercury count on that. He was 193 Mercury years old when he was assassinated. 16,978 days, 193 Mercury years. Okay, so for JFK's birth to his death, exactly 193 Mercury years. So let's go from Bruce Willis's birth to 9/11. Exact same count, 16,978. And actually, My fellow decoder, Bobby Simpson, he's the one that actually showed this. I think this was back I think in March of 2020 he did a video about this. He showed these Mercury counts for Bruce Willis, and then somewhere in one of my videos I showed you guys the 13808. So very, very interesting. But I'll leave a link to Bobby's video if you want to watch it. But Bruce Willis and JFK super connected. And we have the Willis Tower in Chicago on the 666 zip code. And there's more to this. We'll cover this more in the future. Something else I want to show you guys real quick. Remember Chris Farley? He has a connection, right, through a movie. It's kind of to the Philadelphia, or our independence, or whatever, American Revolution. He has a connection with that too. He actually died in Chicago, Illinois, and he died in the John Hancock Tower, or the John Hancock Center. He had an apartment in the John Hancock Center. He died in the John Hancock Center on 12/18/1997. And of course, one of his most famous movies, Tommy Boy, right? He messes up the John Hancock with Herbie Hancock, and it's John Hancock on the signing of the Declaration of Independence, right? He has the most prominent signature on the Declaration of Independence, John Hancock. Chris Farley. He's super connected. I did some videos, or did some information in a video about him, but he's super connected to Chicago. Really coded death. And yep, so that's it, guys. I just want to show you the rest of the Mothman, Wormwood, Bruce Willis. There's a lot more to cover here with Chicago. You can see Bruce Willis also starred in a movie called Hudson Hawk. And I've been showing you guys a lot of information in the past here about Hudson Bay. And we're going to go back and take a look at, I believe it's Super Bowl 50. It was in 2013, the Blackout Bowl. It was the Ravens and the 49ers. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was back in 2013. They had Jennifer Hudson and Alicia Keys, but we're going to go over that Super Bowl. It was super connected to the Hudson Bay and Chicago, and we have Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis, but we'll get to that in another video. Let's see, forgetting one more thing here. Let's see, Chi. Coming up here in a few days, we have 2023, and 823 is Vulcanalia. And Vulcanalia is connected to Venus. And Venus is we're told that Venus is the planet with the most volcanism, or volcanoes. So, be an interesting day to look for some Venus or some female symbolism on 823, or even volcano stuff on 823. So, take a look at that. But yeah, more to cover. I just left this in my community posts. This picture here. This is actually 11/1. This is a date, November 1st. I left it with all my $2 bills here because we have the Declaration of Independence right on the back of the $2 bill. But 11/1/2024 is going to be the precise Pluto return after July 4th, 1776. We'll go over that. This is a super, super interesting day. 11/1/2024, just a couple days before the presidential election. We're going to have the actual precise Pluto return, but we'll check that out on Stellarium in another video. Okay, guys, thanks for watching.